you started travel?
I left my home. I ran away from a home of much violence. At 14 years old, the final straw after a childhood of violence, enduring violence, the final straw was that my father was tying me with ropes and beating me when I was tied up. So I said, that's it, I'm running away. So I began my travel that way, first in my country, America, and then in my teenage years, I lived in Australia and visited Canada and Mexico, and then sometime thereafter, a little bit thereafter, the Caribbean, things like this. Then in America, I put in 500,000 miles, something like, I don't know, 800,000 kilometers or a little more, traveling the hard way in a 1965 Dodge town panel, 110,000 miles in a 65 with my blue-nosed pit bull Rhino over the course of 10 years. The hard way, meaning I would not look at my gas gauge, and when I ran out of gas, when the engine started to putter, I would simply let it coast to the side of the road, and I would get out, stand at attention with my gas can in the air until someone came to take care of me, which was perfecto because they were always the most important spiritual meetings, and the only thing I was doing was attending to spiritual functions. So I had no concern about asking in this way because I was going from one sweat lodge or one sacred ritual or ceremony or ghost dance or thing like this to another for years.
Okay. I put subtitles in this because I translated so long the video. It's better to put subtitles. Bueno, que voy a poner subtítulos a esto. Next question. In all of these times, you can explain the experience what you want, what's so many important, and the things you change your vision or this life.
Let me say, in addition to the way that I described traveling a moment ago, I also put in many thousands of miles hitchhiking and bicycling and simply walking with a backpack or a backpack and my dog, things like this. Rarely did I hop a train. That is a culture that is similar to mine, but I respect it so much that I wouldn't claim that. I've done it a few times, but not much. Perhaps it will come. It's come here in Europe for me a bit. Perhaps it will come more. But you know, the realization for me at a young age was that I wanted the biggest possible prize available in a human life. I'd heard tales of enlightenment and things like this as a young boy. So I wanted the biggest prize ever, even if I myself had to invent it. And what occurred was that I had to invent the biggest prize several times over. This is the enlightenment of enlightenment itself, living and providing and sharing and enduring.
Okay, in this society, here people live with mobile, all day with the social media. You don't have mobile, you don't have social media. What you tell to people off day with the mobile, with the social media? You have a message with these people?
I will start gentle with my message. First, gentle. The most gentle I can think of is follow your folly. Follow your folly. Follow your foolishness. Stay with your foolishness, but become present to it. Find what you're looking for, and if it's not there, make it. And if you make it once and you surprise yourself, and it feels like it has gone away, continue to make it. Make it and make it and make it. You know, there's following a path, then there is tending a path. Then there is, like, you know, beyond tending, there is being the path. It is, you know, the path itself, but then there is the path of the path maker. You know, that's beyond, that's way beyond. That's, how do you say, masala in Espanol?
Yeah.
Way beyond, it's way beyond. You're making the path, you're enduring fields that have never, this is existential safari. You know, Louis on safari is my joke because that's Luciferian. Louis on safari, like Lucifer. Ha 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 ha. Louis on safari. Nice to meet you.
You have traveled for long times, too many experience, too many things. It's impossible in only a little interview to explain what your feelings, what your things, but you can explain what do you do when you live hard times, on these times, you say, what happened, I'm so cool, I don't have food. What is your attitude, what is your mental tactically to survive and go in your way.
Mucho más oración. Oración auténtico. You know, I have friends, spiritual friends, friends in the stars. So there was the one, Khalil Gibran, and he said, I have prayed so much, my life itself has become a prayer. You know, and I know this so well, I know it even beyond this statement. My friends in the stars are very powerful. They're the most powerful. My friends like Padmasambhava, you know. So I pray to Padmasambhava often. I say, Origin Yuji Jeng Sum, Tema Desar Dam Kola, Yatsen the Bilji.
I think he's here.
Jesu drop. Kordu Kandro Mamperkor, Keki Jesu Dabtruki, Chingi Lokjir Sheksu Sol Guru, Tema Sini Hung. That's right. Awoo!
I think he's here.
It's true.
It's here.
Permanente.
I feel it. I feel it, man. All right. Only two questions more, and I finish this. I am blocked with two powerful messages now. It's unbelievable. In this world now is a chaos, wars, people dying, Israel, Ukraine, Russia. What do you think happen in the world in the future?
Well, I will tell you about my sacrifice. I have sacrificed all relation with the future. I have sacrificed all relation with the past. My moment of now knows no boundaries. I know myself from before the beginning all the way through unbroken to after the end. That is what Tantra is. Tantra is continuity. Continuity, you know? So to perfect continuity, one must become contiguous for oneself. And then one must embellish the contiguous state alone, you know?
Yeah.
So for a little while, I was asking my friends, how do you say this thing in Espanol? And they said, oh, it's like this. Cento por cento. Comida, cento por cento, comida, espíritu. I am 100% feeding spirit. That's it. That's why my medicina nombre in Espanol, el espíritu más grande está aquí para quedarse. And then additionally, in bad grammar, perdón, it was given to me in jail in California last year. I did 8 months, 8 meses, in jail in California for muy estúpido policía. And the name muy pro hombre, rana, toro, hecho, de mundo, de bien, de arca iris, teraraña, el mismo came to me, you know, beautifully.
Okay, last question.
Sí.
Last question is, you make the question and you do the answer.
Ah, perfecto.
Take your time, no problem.
I am. No, the silence is.
The silence is the answer.
Yes, but I'm not rushing to this place. Let us let the silence rest for a moment, because the answer does want to be produced. It is so rare in my life that I mean, this is the only time. And I don't mean it like everything is an individual snowflake and a fingerprint. I mean, this is the only time that someone has said, Nicolas, on camera, for YouTube, my friend, this is a person, let me tell you, viewers, this person who is holding the camera all day has fed me, has given me coffee, has bought me wine and cerveza, has bought me an energy drink, everything I asked for, camaraderie. This is the only person in all my years of travel who, when the policia were giving me a little harassment, came and said to the police, hey, you sure you need to be doing this to this man? You certain? You know? The only person in 1 million kilometers of travel around the world. So this person is also asking me, Nicolas, what do you want to ask yourself on this camera? I want to ask you viewership.
As for me?
No, I want, sure, but the entire, all of the viewership. I want to ask the viewership. In this world, will you please light a candle and create a space for the sacred traveler? You know, in old times, 2,000 years ago, there was a Saint Paul. My middle name is Paul, San Pablo, you know?
Yeah.
Saint Paul, when he came to the Romans to bring his idea of spirituality and faith and these things to them, he said, remember, you have many gods, but you have an altar to the unknown God.
I am bringing you, I'm delivering you the message of the unknown God. And I'm telling you, viewership, what's important is that you keep a guest room, is that you keep a spare pair of clothes, is that you keep a little comida, a little food for the unknown visitor. Because Rumi said, what is it to have God in your house and to treat him like a rat, you know? So think, I'm always preparing. Everything is in preparation. We are moving, we're talking about the future a moment ago. We're moving into the future. My sacrifice is not to think of the future as I move into it. I had a friend in Sweat Lodge, in Sacred Sweat Lodge community. He said, my teacher, his name is walking backward into the future, you know? And that's very much my style. My eyes are closed. I'm crouched and I'm walking backward into the future. Because my sacrifice is not to describe the future for myself, so that spirit has a way to play through a human, so that this is a house where God can know itself, you know? There is no contingencies on my life. I have no debts. I have nobody intelligent who's looking for me whatsoever at all, save but to reward me for what has been done here already several times over. So, the question I will ask myself is, Nicolas, what is it that you really need here? And it is simple. I am looking for an abandoned church, possibly here in España, maybe Portugal. An abandoned church. Somewhere close to the people, somewhere where I can plant food, somewhere where I can share and provide, somewhere where I can teach medicine and yoga, medicine work, sacred medicine work, how to get high properly, how to remain high properly, how to share the high properly. Somewhere where I can pray at the times that I like to pray. I wake up at 3 in the morning and begin to pray. I pray first, then I take a little marijuana and a little tobacco, maybe a little vino, you know, something like this, certainly some coffee. And I continue to pray. And then I go into my physical yogas after everything but physical has been already taken care of, you know? And then I'm praying. The people, a person who needs me, who can use me, who I am just filled with, I'm enamored to provide for, to come to me, and another throughout the course of the entire day, so that I can feed them in the way that I know how. When I have the chance, when it's just my style, it's vegan, it's beautifully vegan. But when I travel, I am welcoming all foods, because I did decades vegan and I did decades freegan, you know, eating from trash. I have 11,000 meals from the trash can, you see? So I want to provide what I know is medicine in the form of food, in the form of posture, in the form of breathing, in the form of the way to create the mind. There's an apparatus in your head. There's an actual scientific, there's several, but there's a master scientific apparatus in your head, and I want to teach you how to use it, you know? I'm here for the fewest. That's the most important thing. For years, I gave it away just like Jesus, in the way that I was brought up in America, in spiritually bankrupt and corrupt America. Capitalist, basura, America. And I gave it away like Jesus, but I gave it away all day long. And people would ask me, Nicolas, how are you? Which is why in España I say, my life, mi vida, is muerte via como está. Death by how are you? Because Nicolas can tell you how he is unendingly. Rent a theater, it will never end. The important thing, what I'm trying to say, is that I would give an answer for 2 hours, 3 hours, and the person would walk away feeling higher and finer than they ever felt in their life before, over and over and over again. But in capitalist America, they wouldn't think, oh, this person also needs food. Oh, this person needs a beer. He needs a cigarette. He needs these things, small things. This person who was holding the camera took care of all of these things first and then asked for this interview. That's respect. That's respect. Respecta. Now, the important thing to say at this point, at this juncture, is that after years and years of giving it away and starving, and at the same time saying, I will not be a starving artist, which I am also an artist. I've secreted 1,000 professional, incredibly beautiful illustrations around the world already. I have 11,000 hours finger picking the guitar. I have countless hours singing. I know sacred songs in many different old languages and old styles. I carry these things. That's what it lives inside of me. The ayahuasca that I drink, the ayahuasca that I serve, the peyote ritual that I know lives inside of me. When the policia encounter me in the middle of the night, the Moses, the national policia, and they say, hey, caballero, can we have a conversation? I say, of course, permanente, sí.
And they say, hey, what are you doing here? Walking with a backpack in the middle of the night? I say, listen, I'm 40 kilometers a day with 40 kilograms of gear, 5 days in a row before I need a rest, you know? And they say, what is it, a meditation? I say, exactly. But my meditation is permanente. I don't even know it as as meditation. The important thing, oh, here we go. Here's a non sequitur sequitur expression. Listen, the world right now is sick on a naming and labeling ceremony. You all want to know what everything is called. What do you call it? What do you call it? What do you call it? Forget what you fucking call it. Learn the thing first. And if you never get to naming it, perfecto.
Perfecto. Thank you for your powerful message. Thank you for no have móvil.